Hey everyone, it's the Outlaw John Rocha with his first movie review ever on the Outlaw Nation channel. Can't thank you enough for clicking on this video to see my thoughts about Bad Boys for Life. This is a non-spoiler review. I'll warn that now. Non-spoiler review. I'm not going to try to spoil anything in this movie, just going to tell you what I thought about the film and whether you should go see this thing or not. Of course, it's out today. So let me start off by saying this is the return of Will Smith and Martine Lawrence as Detective Mike Lowrey and Detective Marcus Burnett. Joe Pantoliano is also back as Captain Howard in this. So you've got that holy trinity coming back to be part of the Bad Boys franchise again. This is 10 years after the second one that I wasn't the biggest fan of. I did like the first film, though. That's the one that put the hook in me. Cheshire Cario as the villain, Téa Leoni as the woman they're working with to try to stop Cheshire Cario. Really enjoyable film from Michael Bay. Bay is not back for this one to direct it. It is Adil El Arbi and Bilal Fallah who take over the directing duties on this one. The duo has directed a number of other things in the past, including some music videos and shorts, but this is their first really big feature film, and what a way to announce your presence into the world than to really knock this out of the park. And that's what happens. I was really surprised about how much I enjoyed this movie. There's great action. There's great set pieces in terms of action sequences. There's great car chases. There's a vibrant Miami, both day and night. And here's the thing that's really important about the Bad Boys franchise is kind of the hidden secret about how great this thing is the heart. Always the heart within it. The friendship between Martine Lawrence and Will Smith's character in these movies has always been the thing that sold it to me. Yeah, the action's great, but it's always the friendship and the heart that's at the center of these movies that keeps me coming back to hope that we get good installments. And this one is definitely a good installment. Now, as far as a synopsis or the plot goes, it's basically someone from Mike Lowrey's past, actually pre-Bad Boys. So it's kind of in a way, a kind of a pseudo prequel in that way. Pre-Bad Boys comes in to kind of wake Mike Lowrey up and show him some of the mistakes from his past and confront him in the present. Also, the movie does a great job of kind of exploring this idea of these guys being older. Can they still keep doing it? And what it is about transitioning out of being these action guys who've been like ruling Miami for a while and kind of going into their older age and settling in and possibly retiring as policemen. Of course, the realism in the movie does work for me because they bring in a younger crew to help them out, because it would be kind of unbelievable to see these two guys still trying to do it on their own. It's kind of the reason why I didn't like the second one. The idea of these two guys taking on the entire country of Cuba seemed completely crazy to me. But in this one, you've got Paola Nuñez, Rita. She is leading a crew that kind of helps out the boys on this mission. You have Charles Melton here as being part of the crew, as well as Alexander Ludwig, and of course, Vanessa Hudgens. Vanessa Hudgens was actually kind of a revelation to me in this movie, an absolute badass throughout. So good to see her kind of spreading her wings out of that High School Musical stuff and getting a chance to, shoot some weapons and kick some ass. That's always fun to see. But overall, I thought this film really did do exactly what you were hoping a third installment might do, especially because I think the fans are uneven on the second one. Bring you back to why you love the franchise, and it certainly does that. And the two directors try to kind of mirror a little bit of Michael Bay's style. There's even, I don't think it's a spoiler to say there's even a spin move that happens, that classic slow motion spin move with Will Smith and Martine Lawrence in there. That happens as well. But this one is kind of very interesting. It goes into Mexico, deals with the cartels in a way that's kind of like dangerous and fun. You got to give a shout out to Kat del Castillo, who is part of this cartel. And I want to give a little shout out as well to Jacob Scipio, who's, I think that's how you say it, or Scipio. He's the guy that's kind of leading the villainous charge here against Mike Lowrey and Detective Marcus Burnett. But overall, I got to tell you, this was such a fun time in a theater. I can't recommend it enough. I hope you all get a chance to go out and see this thing because it'll absolutely bring you back to why you loved this franchise in the first place, why you enjoyed what was going on with Michael Bay and him presenting this world, and why the chemistry of Martine Lawrence and Will Smith is so essential to make Bad Boys work. Those guys feel like they haven't missed a step. They're transitioning into being older. Even Theresa Randle coming back as Martine Lawrence's wife was great to see. And you'll get some cameos cameos from people who have been a part of this franchise on camera and behind the camera, which is a fun little thing that they do. So I can't recommend this thing enough. I'm going to start, this is my first movie review, so how are we going to do this? I think 5 cowboy hats is the limit, 1 to 5 cowboy hats. I give this thing 4 cowboy hats for enjoyment factor. And yeah, of course, you could go in this thing and like tear apart see the plot holes or whatever, but you don't go into a Bad Boys film wanting to analyze the plot. You go, can you get me there just enough for me to enjoy the movie and kind of suspend my disbelief on other things? And it certainly does that. It's fun, it's action-packed, and it's got a heart right at the center of it that really works for you. And don't be surprised if you find yourself getting a little emotional in a couple of moments, especially the older ones out there who've been through some life things and are transitioning themselves into a different phase of their life. All right, that's my review for this thing. Non-spoiler, 4 cowboy hats, Bad Boys for Life. Go see it, enjoy it from Sony Pictures, and we'll talk to you next time on the Outlaw Nation channel.